Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. I have something really special for you today. This absolutely beautiful 2016 Corvette Z06 convertible. Definitely an American icon. One of the best American sports cars ever made, especially in the Z06 package. This thing is absolutely insane. Insane amounts of power and torque. I drive lots of cars. Luckily, in our business, we deal with lots of high-end vehicles, Porsches, Corvettes, high-performance BMWs, high-performance Audis and Mercedes. We've come across everything. I've driven all sorts of cars. This is probably one of the craziest cars I've driven. And it's kind of funny because, I usually ridicule most modern cars as having so many electronic nannies that it kind of takes the fun out of driving. Well, just keeping it real, this is probably one of the few modern cars that you can buy that could still straight up kill you or hurt you really bad. It has electronic nannies, it has stability control, it has traction control, but with 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, and producing a lot of that torque very low down in the rev range, combined with high performance compound tires, and then we have 38-degree weather and slick roads. This is a car that goes sideways very, very easily. In fact, I'm a pretty good driver, but this thing goes sideways on me even when I don't expect it. In fact, coming over to my little photo video area, driving across the street, I pulled out and I wasn't too judicious with the throttle. I just gave it a little blip, hardly any, I mean, I wasn't driving it like, in granny mode, but I was also not, putting the pedal to the metal, and I thought the thing would just pull out, but as soon as I pull out, and of course it has cold tires that slick out, this thing went completely sideways on me. And I look ahead, and there is 5 police officers, so I'm wondering, what's he gonna say? Hey, stop hot rodding, because, he just sees a Corvette going sideways. Maybe he didn't see it or whatnot, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious, but I mean, I just tell him, hey, you drive this car. I wasn't going that fast. You can see how easy it is to go sideways. So this is not a car for the faint of heart. You really have to know what you're doing. If you are stupid in this car, it will hurt you and maybe worse. And I really advise, if you're driving in the wintertime on slick roads, put the drive mode selector in weather mode. And still in weather mode, it can be scary. I wouldn't even want to touch this thing in the snow or icy roads. Really dry weather, wet roads at your risk, driving very judiciously. You don't want to really go too fast in this thing in the wet, maybe if you're on the racetrack. So that's my little warning for you. But if you're bored by cars, if you want to get scared a little bit by your car, this thing will definitely scare you. We have the original build sheet on it. Original MSRP is $95,785. Pretty well equipped. This has a 3LZ package. That was an $8,500 option package, giving you lots of very nice features. The 8-speed automatic transmission was a $1,725 option. It's got the Z06 black alloy wheels, $495 upgrade, and then we have the LPO carbon fiber wheel center caps, $210 for those. So that's pretty much all the equipment on this one. Obviously, this one's pretty very well equipped with features, and of course we can print you out a copy or email you one if you want to peruse that yourself. Auto climate control, heated and ventilated front seats, navigation. We have a parking camera. It looks like it also offers a split view screen. This one has 16,616 miles, clean Carfax vehicle. We have a heads-up display, Bose sound system, beautiful interior. Really beautiful interior of Alcantara kind of suede cloth trim on the the headliner, or at least the headliner that's not part of the convertible top. Beautiful brown leather interior, goes nicely with the white exterior. I'm a big fan of Corvettes. Honestly, my favorite Corvette's the C6 Z06. I think that was kind of like the perfect, it kind of still had that old school Corvette look to it. I like the natural aspiration of that engine. I like the manual transmission. So that's my favorite Corvette. I do like the C7. The C8 looks really cool too. Basically the C8's they threw the old Corvette formula out the window and they basically copied a Ferrari, a mid-engine Ferrari, which makes sense, because after driving this one, with a front engine rear wheel drive car with 650 horsepower, they've really taken it as far as it can go. And I know this one's probably a little bit overshadowed by the new C8, which is pretty cool, but you know, I'd buy a C8 for the dealership to sell, but they're still, you know, at the auction, they're still going for like $100,000 or pretty close to it for most of them. Well over MSRP. I'm not willing to go that far. You know, maybe if I was a Chevy dealership, I'd risk it, but that's just a little bit too rich for my blood. So maybe if that's the case for you, maybe this beautiful low mileage C7 might be the next best thing. It's definitely a little bit more of a traditional Corvette. If you don't like the new formula of going mid-engine, this is the last great front-engined rear-wheel drive Corvette. All right, let's go and take a look around it. Sometimes on these cars I like to do driving videos, but really in the wet it wouldn't really do much good to drive this thing around. I can tell you this thing is in pretty close to flawless condition. You'll have a hard time finding one mark on it. I think I saw one curbed wheel, and we can most likely fix that. But aside from that, this thing is pretty much mint condition. Obviously it wasn't driven that much. This is a vehicle that was, you know, probably more of a fun car, which is usually the case for these things. Probably you're not going to daily drive this thing. I would want to daily drive it. I mean, it is possible, but there's a lot better cars to daily drive. Maybe I'd daily drive this in the summertime when it's nice out. You have climate control settings for the passenger right over there, and they can control their heated seat buttons. Absolutely beautiful design. Even though I'm kind of a little bit more of a purist, I like the look of the C6, which kind of, you know, goes back to the design of the C4 Corvette. I've had a chance to drive the C4, C5, C6, and C7. I haven't had a chance to drive the C8 yet. I'd love to do that. Does that amazing LT4 engine. This thing is in beautiful shape. I didn't even have our detailers touch it. The previous owner kept it so nice. We really didn't have to do anything to it. The engine's a little bit dirty. There's a little bit of dirt in the trunk, but aside from that, this thing is a beautiful example of a C7 Corvette if I ever saw one. And let's put down the top. Top's pretty easy to use. You have a button right there, and it just takes, I don't know, 15 seconds for it to go down. I like how the portion of the interior kind of matches the exterior color right here. That's always kind of been a tradition of the Corvette, going all the way back, I think, to the C5. There we have it. A nice rimless rearview mirror. It's got the on-steer telematics, of course, a nice heads-up display. A little bit hard to see on camera, but you get the idea. And a convertible Corvette always looks its best with the top down. And what better way to enjoy some amazing, I think what's it, the LT4 V8, some of that amazing supercharged big V8 music without the obstruction of a top. This thing puts up some good performance numbers when the conditions are right. I read a great Car and Driver archived review, and they called this, and they consider themselves pretty critical, Car and Driver, but they consider this one of the best, you know, sports car ever. Which, you know, for what you get for your money, you know, obviously it's not cheap, but, you know, 650 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque, the level of performance the Corvette gives you for the price point usually rivals, you know, exotic high performance cars. Like, you know, you're getting performance like close to, you know, Porsche 911 GT2, GT3 territory, you know, at a fraction of the price. Oh, heavenly sound indeed. Well, thanks so much for taking the time today to watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Whether you're looking at buying this Corvette or just looking for a little information on Z06s in general, we have complimentary shipping to pretty much anywhere in Washington and Oregon. We can put this in our call hauler, tow it to you, print up all the paperwork. So over our mobile delivery service, this beautiful Z06 can be all yours. And of course, if you live in a different part of the country, we also ship nationwide. Unfortunately, that's not complimentary, but we're very competitive of our shipping rates. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video, and maybe one day you'll get to enjoy some of that amazing supercharged V8 music yourself. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.